Okay. I wasn't gonna do anything about this, but this is actually kind of crazy. This patch is gonna change the entire meta. I read about half of this, and then I went, okay, I need to record something because this is just insane. So, looking at this, Depult, um, D-Dance cooldown does nothing. HP buffs like a lot of the other attackers now, not huge. This is the big part. Phantom Force, attack speed, or not, attack increase per KO went from 6 to 8. So at 8 stacks, it used to be 10 stacks. So real quick, I'm gonna pull up my calculator, do some math. It was 6 stacks, or it was 6 per stack at 8 stacks. That's 48. And before that, it was 6 per stack. That's 60. Back when Depult was busted, the difference was it went up to 10 stacks instead of 8. So that's 60 damage or 60 attack increase at max stacks. So now it's at 8 stacks times 8, that's 64. So not only is it still only 8 stacks, so you're getting to your max stacks faster than 10, but it's also higher than when it was 10. Depult is going to be busted again, and it's going to be obnoxious. Okay. D-Knight, Hyper Beam cooldown reduction, Outrage attack speed increase. This is going to make Outrage pretty strong, I think, for sure. Hyper Beam cooldown is going to be nice as well. Dragonite's been pretty mid for a while. Getting a buff here is going to be nice. Nothing too crazy, though. Venu, um, yeah, just general buffs. Same thing with Dragonite here. Um, Petal Drain is getting a decent buff. Um, Pretty solid actually. Slower fade on the move speed increase. It fades a lot slower, which is gonna be nice. Heals a little bit more. Um, Pretty solid buffs. Nothing too crazy like Depult was. G-Rap, Horse, Rapidash, whatever you want to call it, got huge buffs, which honestly I feel like it was deserved. It got hit very hard when it got nerfed last, and it's been one of the worst things in the game ever since. It definitely deserved a buff, but this is a lot, dude. Psychic Gauge increase, speed 43% increase, Fairy Wind base damage 10% increase, which in and of itself is not a lot. It's fine, but on top of this, that's kind of crazy. Um, Smart Horn, I assume that's Smart Strike, dealing 30% more damage. Hold on, real quick. Rapidash, where are you? There you are. Yeah, that's already quite a bit of damage. At level 13. Yeah, that's a lot. There you are. And energy reduction cooldown buff on the Unite move. This is a lot for Galarian Rapidash. After its ability was heavily nerfed in the previous update, Galarian Rapidash's influence in battles dropped significantly. Partially reverts the changes. I think this is nice, for sure. Galarian Rapidash on release was very strong, too busted. Then they nerfed it way too much. This kind of meets it in the middle, but in the middle is still very strong. It's going to be relevant, I think, now, for sure. Um, Probably even up there with the rest of the speed. which is going to make it very annoying. I do not enjoy playing against Galarian Rapidash, as do many people. So, I think this is gonna make things very annoying. Buzzwole, okay, this is the one that made me want to make this video. Buzzwole, okay. Ability Beast Boost, Gauge Depletion Decay goes from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Basically, that means your if I'm remembering correctly, that just means your Beast Boost gauge is going to delay. What am I thinking of now? I don't know what I'm thinking of now. Hold on. Now I want to There you are. Knocks out an enemy movement speed. Muscle gauge. Yeah, your muscle gauge. Depletes by 1 increment every 5 seconds. So now that's going to change to every 10 seconds. So that's kind of insane. It's basically doubling the amount of time it's going to have its Beast Boost. It's his muscle gauge in play. 30% increase on the healing for its basic attack, for its boosted attack. That's a lot. His boosted attack already healed a decent bit. A 30% boost on that is 130. That's still at level 1. Go up. I'm going to go up to level 13. Yeah, that's going to make it a lot. Probably close to 280. And that's without held items. That's the wrong button. This one. This is okay. Leech Life. The only counterplay to Leech Life was being able to stun him out of it. And now you're not able to do that. There is no protecting your backline from Buzzwole anymore. Especially with this cooldown reduction on Lunge. This Buzzwole's just going to be diving your backline, destroying your DPS with nothing your team can do about it. I guess command grab or whatever you call them in this game. I am actually forgetting. Like slow beam, something like slow beam. But that's an ult, dude. You don't want to use your unite move on just your average leech life hit. This is not fair. This is not going to be fair to play against. It's going to be able to leave the fight for 10 seconds. Heal, go grab a berry, run all the way across the map, and it'll still have full muscle gauge. And it'll be at full health because it's not going to get stunned out of its leech life. Okay. Trevenant. Nerfs. Honestly, this is sad for me. Trevenant, I love my boy Trevenant. But damage nerfs is not huge. It's annoying on Curse for sure. But you can still run Curse Incense. Curse is still going to be solid. Woodhammer you use for the utility, not for the damage. Basically, this is just discouraging a damage tree, which a lot of people like to run, and I personally don't run a lot. I do every once in a while, but I don't really like to often. So nerfing the damage here, that's a lot. That's a pretty significant nerf to the damage there. But I do think that's workable. The annoying bit is this Horn Leech nerf, throw duration 1 second to 0.75 seconds. But Trevenant's still pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's top 3 tanks anymore, probably. I think maybe Blastoise and Slowbro have it beat now. But it might be pretty close still. Slowbro, Mamo, Blastoise, Tree all up there right now. And then Umbreon and Snorlax are just way up at the top. Umbreon needs nerfed. Been way too good for way too long. Anyway, that's a different conversation. Goodra. Base stats. HP got buffed? Why? You just got buffed. Oh, the rest of this is a nerf. Okay. Base HP got a buff, but yeah, you're nerfing damage. Basically, reinstating Goodra's role of tank. Because I know I like to run Goodra as an all-rounder. Because it basically is. I don't see Goodra as a real tank, honestly. It's, well, as a real defender, I should say. Hold on. What does that say? Goodra had high durability while dealing considerable damage, especially in the veteran to ultra ranks. I wonder why. Goodra is supposed to be good into players who don't know how to play the game. That's what it's built to. It's a noob stomp. That's what it does. The offensive capabilities have been adjusted accordingly. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. But that's part of what it does, is deal damage. It's part of its kit. It's not just a thing that its kit does. That is part of its kit. It tanks damage and deals damage. Not much you can do about it. Not that I'm complaining that they're nerfing Goodra. I am perfectly okay that they're nerfing Goodra. I just don't think this is reasonable. Suicune nerfs deserved, honestly. Shield stacking limit 3 times to 2 times. That's a bug fix. Okay, so that's nothing. What am I forgetting? Moon, where are you? There you are. Okay, yeah, that's what that was. It was this. Damaging a Pokemon from the opposing team below 10% max HP and frozen by Suicune deals an additional 15%. Not that. This. Using a move grants a shield up to 3 times. They made that now up to 2 times. They fixed a bug is all that was. Boosted attack deals 15% less damage. Ice beam recovery cooldown 1 second nerf. That is actually big. This right here is huge. Ice beam has way too much uptime. You constantly have your ice beam up, and it deals decent damage as well. Icy wind. Okay, explosion damage, 98% increase. Icy wind has been fairly weak. A bug that allowed Suicune's shield to stack up to 3 times instead of the attended to has been fixed. Ice Beam's cooldown was too short, enabling frequent freeze effects. True. It has been extended. On the other hand, Icy Wind's pillar explosion damage has been increased to improve its combo potential. Also fair. Icy Wind was too weak. Ice Beam was too strong. Honestly, I think this might be too much. Icy Wind wasn't that weak. It was... That's quite a bit, honestly. Now I want to look. Icy Wind. Pillar Break compared to... Yeah, that's actually not bad now that I'm thinking about it. It's going to do similar damage now to when it placed down. So that's not bad. Alolan Raichu. Nerfs. Makes sense. Sword Power. Bonus damage decrease. Psychic hit damage decrease. Psychic plus DOT decreased. Cooldown. Oh, that cooldown is huge. Um, I actually haven't streamed since Alolan Raichu came out, but I have been playing it quite a bit, especially in the Pika Party event. I've played enough of Alolan Raichu to know Sword Power was way too strong. Thunderbolt feels like it should be the stronger move, but it's not. So Psychic being nerfed here is good as well. Electro Ball is very fun. I feel like Electro Ball should be the stronger move just because of what it is and how difficult it is to actually play. But Stored Power being stronger is kind of annoying. So these nerfs here are very fair. I like the idea that they nerfed this. Overall, I think Alolan Raichu is a decently balanced release. It was very strong for sure. Not quite Darkrai buffs strong or Psyduck release strong, but still pretty strong. It was more balanced than a lot of our recent releases for sure. Shortly after its debut, the combination of Stored Power and Psychic proved too powerful, resulting in a high win rate. These moves have been adjusted accordingly. Actually, I'm curious, what was the win rate on that set? On Raichu? Oh, geez. 57.22%. That should not be happening. 57% win rate on Stored Power Psychic. Electro Ball Psychic. Yeah, Psychic is quite strong. I feel like these win rates on Electro Ball are lower than they need to be. Why is nobody picking Electro Ball? It is so much fun. Electro Ball is very fun. I enjoy it a lot. I feel like these win rates are going to rise on Electro Ball when people start figuring out how to play it. But yeah, this is probably where a lot of the win rates should be. Thunderbolt, again, like I said, feels like it should be the stronger move, especially for stored power. It's just Psychic. Psychic Plus was such a strong move with insane damage over time. This DOT was very strong. The 20% decrease on that damage is going to be huge for sure. So I haven't actually looked at this next bit. I read a little bit, and before I scrolled up, some of you might have noticed beforehand. Um, Removal of defense penetration stats from the defense penetration and special defense penetration stats, which were added to clarify the role of speedsters, are being removed in this update. These gave the speedsters too much influence and disrupted game balance. Future role defining mechanics will continue to be evaluated using seasonal battle data. I don't know how I feel about this. I liked the idea of these role defining mechanics, as it called it up here. I liked the idea of it. It was implemented poorly, for lack of a better term, but I like the idea of it at the very least. Um, Trying to solidify a specific role into what it's supposed to do. Um, Defense penetration would be penetrating a flat number of defense, so it would hit squishies a lot harder than tanks, which is what it's supposed to do. I liked that idea, but it was implemented too strongly, so it was doing a lot more than it should have been. Um, Plus, all these speedsters got buffed by quite a large margin right as it was happening. So that kind of added on to it. Leafeon, I think, is the strongest thing in the game right now. After these nerfs, actually no, that's a lie. I feel like Buzzwole is going to be so strong. Dude, this is too much. Too much. Anyway, Leafeon, aside from Suicune previously, I think Leafeon was the strongest thing in the game. Leafeon did not need buffs, let alone the defense penetration. It's too much. But yeah, I don't like that they're not trying to fix this. They are doing what they can to yeah, Zeraora. They're doing what they can. They're doing what they can short term to make things better. But I think this could have been so much better if they tried. Just balance it out better, make it work. I think this was a good idea. They just needed to do it better. And now they're completely removing it, which I'm disappointed. They should have tried to keep going with it. Looks like Absol got nerfs on top of this. Down Psycho Cut damage. Um yeah. Zera discharge nerf. Zera's been pretty strong recently. Bug fix, sword power, psychic, triggered muscle band. Really? Jeez. I thought they I thought they fixed this Zacian bug last patch. What? Hold on. I thought sure they fixed that last patch. No, 2 patches ago? No? I don't know. Anyway, this few good things, few not so good things, a few crazy things, a few crazy things. Dragapult and Buzzwole are going to define this meta. I am certain of it. Yeah, this is insane.